All right. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jeffrey Pickett. I'm with the Lowell Public Schools. We want to welcome you to the lottery event for in-person instruction for the upcoming 2020-2021 school year. We want to start things off by letting everybody know that this session is being recorded and that we will be posting this video on our website for families who are not able to attend this afternoon, or rather this early evening, for them to be able to view at a later date. So for now, I'm going to turn things over to our Chief Equity Officer, Latifa Phillips, who will guide you through tonight's presentation.
Sure. Thank you, Jeffrey. Good evening, everyone. As Jeffrey stated, my name is Latifa Phillips. I'm the Chief Equity and Engagement Officer. I will be sharing information with you around the process of the lottery. It has been a tremendous undertaking, and I want to make sure I get the chance to acknowledge our team. So if you can just really quickly let our families, our community know who you are and what you do, and then we can jump right in.
Hi, thank you. My name is Dr. Rebecca Duda, and I'm the coordinator of the Family Resource Center.
Hi, I'm Abby Anderson. I am the Director of Research and Accountability.
I'm Vanakin. I'm the Bilingual Family Liaison Lead.
And I'm Jeffrey Pickett, the Community Outreach Strategist.
Great, so we can go ahead and get the presentation started. So I did want to mention that early in the planning for our school reopening for 2020-21, one of the steps that we took was issuing a survey to our families to hear more about you, about what your hopes were for the new school year. And one of the things that we heard was the importance of having options for your family to make the decision that might work best for your child, for your children. And so we have designed this lottery in mind, using our equity lens and making sure that we're able to serve our students with the greatest needs, but giving an opportunity to everyone who has indicated that this is their desire for the school year. So we'll go ahead and take you through the agenda. Okay, so in today's session, as we shared in the communication, we're going to take you through the steps for the process, what you can anticipate as relates to communication. What you won't see is any posting of the outcome for your child. That's to ensure privacy and security. We're not able to post names and student IDs. However, very shortly after the conclusion of this session, you will begin receiving your emails into the evening. So we'll talk about the lottery, the waiting system, the in-person seats, and our next steps, and briefly mention a little bit about transportation. Okay, so today's lottery is being held for those who filled out the application for return to school form and indicated that they wanted in-person instruction for their child. Now, there were more students requesting in-person than spots available, which is the reason we are holding this lottery. This lottery this evening will be filling 75% of the available seats. This is to ensure that we don't over-enroll any of our school buildings, as we have other programs within the building for sub-separate programs, special English learner programs that use a different process. So we want to make sure that we are not exceeding the capacity that has been deemed, the number of seats for our schools, for each school building. And I'll ask Ms. Anderson to take us through the waiting.
So as Latifa mentioned, everybody that submitted an application for in-person learning is going to be enrolled in tonight's lottery. Within that, everyone will be receiving a randomized number to determine their slot to ensure a seat. In order to meet DESE guidelines and also provide equitable access to our higher needs students, we created a weighting system. And these are the priorities that have been set forth. So any student that has an individualized education plan will be given a higher weight. Students that are identified with a learning related accommodation, specifically with a 504 plan, will be given a higher weight. Students identified for McKinney-Vento services will be given a weight. And within this factor, we designated a higher priority to students who are unsheltered, living in a hotel, and are unaccompanied. And then any other student who falls under additional categories within the McKinney-Vento services will also be given a weight, but of a lesser value. The same goes for students identified as English language learners. Higher priority will be given to students who had been provisionally identified based on phone interviews that were conducted from March of earlier this year until the end of the school year, and any student who scored an overall performance level of less than 3 on the January 2020 Access state assessment. And any other student that is categorized as an L will also be included in this weighting system, but again, with a lesser weight. And then the final 2 categories, families who have more than 1 child enrolled in Lowell Public Schools, and then the students of Lowell Public Schools personnel will be given a weight as well. And then depending on who has applied within your child's grade and school, and the randomized number that you have been given will determine whether or not your child receives an in-person slot this first round or will be moved to the wait list.
So for this evening's lottery, we do have a total of 4,595 students who have been entered into the lottery. We have a total number of 3,763 seats. These seats are divided across schools and across grade levels, and I'll show you, give you a little more information about that in the next couple of slides. And then that means that we have a little over 11,000 seats for remote learning. So as you can see on this chart, each school building, first of all, had to go through a process in determining the capacity of each building. And then we work with our administrators to determine how the seats would be designated at each grade level. And then based on the seats that have been designated at the grade level, that is how we will assign the lottery. So you can see on the page, or if you want to go to the next page, Vanak. So for example, here at the Riley School, in the 4th grade, there have been 20 spots. So everyone in the 4th grade who submitted an in-person form will be entered for that lottery. And those 20 seats will be filled based on that lottery. 75% of those will be assigned this evening. And then next week, we will assign the remaining seats, making sure that we don't exceed the capacity that's been designated for the building. You will see that in some buildings, there are some grades where an in-person seat has not been designated, as we have prioritized the lower grades, the entry grades. So you may see that's the case in some of our K-8 schools. So next steps. So after our lottery has taken place this evening, you can expect to receive an email informing you of your child's status. There will be your child would have one of 3 statuses, in-person assignment, remote assignment, or remote assignment with placement on the wait list. So please inform your school or the Family Resource Center if you are declining your in-person assignment. If you are accepting it, you don't have to let us know of your acceptance. We'll just look forward to welcoming you on the first day of school. But if you know that you've changed your mind, please do let us know right away so that we can offer your seat to the next person on the wait list. And we'll continue to review the wait list prior to the start of the school year, and we will continuously inform families of their child's status as seats become available. And once, so schools haven't received their rosters yet. We were waiting for tonight's lottery. So once we share the information with schools, they'll be able to create their in-person and remote class rosters and communicate directly with you around the classroom you'll be in, the teacher that you'll have for the start of the school year. We do want to make sure that you're aware that each school is holding several orientations for families. The first set of orientations are around remote learning. Those dates and times are already posted on the website. So please do attend one that's convenient for your schedule. And then after the lottery, we will be scheduling in-person sessions, and we do encourage you, strongly encourage you to attend one of those prior to the school year. So you can continue to check the district website next week for the most updated schedule of both in-person and remote orientations. The last thing I wanted to mention is that there will be limited transportation options available for next year. So please do take this into account as you are making your decision if you receive an in-person seat. And those who receive in-person seats will receive more information regarding available seats and a potential transportation lottery. Okay, so the last thing to keep in mind is that your initial choice for where to start the school year does not lock you in for the entire school year. Families will be given the opportunity to select a different option on a quarterly basis, and any seats that become available or if capacity is able to be increased, we will be having lotteries at each quarter. The reason for this is that we do want to maintain stability within the grading period. And so we do ask that how you start the school, you commit to that placement. And then any changes to where, we had to assign many students this year based on a revised student assignment policy. But for next year, we will revert back to our 2019-2020 placement. So if you were in one school, but you were transferred to another to be within walking distance, next year we would transfer you back to your school. Or if you were in a feeder pattern and we transferred you for a reason, usually space or proximity to school, next year you would attend the school that you would have attended this year had we not been impacted by the pandemic. So we will continue to communicate with you about any changes. One thing I do want to mention about communication this evening is that we will be sending out close to 15,000 emails. Our system, this may create some delay. So we do know that we can only send so many thousand per hour. So if you do not receive an email immediately, don't worry, your email likely is coming into the evening. So we just wanted to make sure that you were aware of that, and please do check your junk mail as well, as sometimes it can be diverted into that box. Is there anything I have missed? Anything you want to add, colleagues?
I guess the only thing is let the lottery commence.
Okay, so Abby and her team are beginning the lottery now. You should begin receiving your emails very shortly. And again, you know, don't be worried if your email doesn't come in immediately, as our system, you know, hasn't sent out 15,000 personalized emails, you know, prior to now. So yeah, we thank you for your patience. And if you have any questions, please do reach out to your school, but also please feel free to submit an online form or call our Family Resource Center if you have any questions.
All right, so are we all set, Latifa?
Yes, we are.
All right, thank you everybody for tuning in. Want to thank all of our parents, and as Latifa mentioned, we will be reaching out via email throughout the night, and we thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you. Have a great long weekend.